At home want to know how to draw the graffiti letter K like these 6 letters here. Stick around to the very end because I'll be taking you step by step on how to do so. Welcome back to the letter series, everybody. And today we've got the letter K. Way, graffiti letter K. Thank you everybody for following along. We're getting there. I know a few of you are getting anxious to see your letters appear. So I'm happy today to bring you the graffiti letter K. Okay, as always with these tutorials, we all know the basics with a K. 1, 2, 3. So it's just made up of these 3 basic foundation shapes. But we're going to show a bit more of an advanced way to do that because obviously it's very simple and there's loads of tutorials on YouTube where they're just going to tell you to do that, and then you've got some amazing bubble writing. So I want to show you something a bit more advanced, okay? So with this now, we're going to take that knowledge and do shape 1. So with shape 1, we're going to try something a bit different. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, but I'm looking to make it small at the top and bigger at the bottom. So I'm just going to do these 2 dashed lines, obviously one being bigger than the smaller one. And I'm going to do the same rectangular shape, but I'm going to look to connect that to this, that point to that point. Like so. And basically you took the beginning shape, the basic shape, and all I've done is stretched it out, made it smaller at the top and bigger at the bottom. Okay, let's throw a line there, just my own head. Shape number 2 is obviously coming off here. So instead of just having it coming straight out, I'm actually going to do a bit more flow. So I'm going to have it coming out as it would like this, but then I'm going to pull it up towards the end, like so. And that's shape number 2. This will be the most basic K I'll be showing you, and then I will move on to a lot more like free flowing and looser letters. But I just want to show you how you can take a foundational shape, add a few small extras to it, and create something completely different and unique, and then build upon it. Same again with this. I'm going to have it coming out, and to mirror this, I'm going to have it kicking off. So shape number 3. Like so. And I'm just going to stub it off at the bottom. So already you can see how you can have a lot more style just by pulling the shapes or making thick to thin. Here I put this line earlier. Basically it was like a little mistake, but I saw a good place to add an extra. So here I'm just going to add on to the back of the K and a few little spots where I can make the K look way more better. Here I'm just going to put like a backstalk on this layer. And just keep building it up just like so. I think for this lesson today, I'm actually just going to keep it real simple and then move on to the second layer, which will be a lot more complex with a lot more shapes going on. So once you're happy with that, you want to grab yourself your marker, go over the whole thing, blacken out all the lines you want to keep, and leaving all the foundational lines you don't want just left there so you can rub off later. So right guys, that will be the most simplest letter K of the day. That's why it was the quickest. And now I put the first letter down. My hand's getting a bit more looser. I'm getting to a bit more familiarity with the shape. I'm just gonna actually let loose a lot more now. So with the first shape, the same principle, these 2 little lines, well obviously bigger down here. But this time instead of coming straight up, I'm gonna look to connect that again with this point. Those 2 points is what I'm looking for. And this time I'm gonna bring it up, bend it out, and throw it back in. And now I'm doing the exact same on this side, connecting that with here. And if you really wanted to, you could just do a straight line and have an absolutely crazy thick shape. But here I'm looking to start off small at the top. And as I'm going, it will slowly get thicker, like this. And with the foundation lines, don't try and be too strict with anything. You just want to be keeping it real loose, just sort of roughing it in for now. I'll tell you why you want to keep it roughing it in. It's because sometimes with your mistake lines, for example, here is absolutely a mistake. It's just well, it's not a mistake. It's just a foundation line which I don't end up using. I might actually just take that now, and now I've just created something that didn't come from me overthinking. Because sometimes you can overthink letters and end up just doing the same letter. But here I can just take this shape, which was actually the foundation line, which wasn't real. So this is what I mean when I'm giving an example. And let's say here's a bit of an over push. I'm going to use that to do something off the back. These were lines which I didn't attempt to put in place, but now they are in place, I'm using them to my advantage. So sometimes you might think you made some mistakes, but if you're smart enough, you can turn it into something that will actually benefit you. And because of this shape was accidentally in place, now you've got an amazing indication of what shape you want here. And here for shape number 3, I'm actually going to just do a really loose shape coming out from the stem. Boom, and then just do a rectangle so it's sat like so. Now you may think there's a lot of pre-thought in how I'm going to do this sort of letter, but there really isn't with that. It was the base shape, and once I started putting the base shape in, then I started to think about other shapes I could put in place. And yeah, that's simple. Sometimes a lot of people, even when they draw themselves, they think, I don't know what to draw. Just get out your sketchbook and put in some rough lines. And before you know it, you see shapes you want to put things in, and then you've drawn yourself a whole image, and then you go, wow, I just spent 8 hours drawing, what the hell? But this is always the first initial 5 minutes that always seem to be the hardest. I know if there is a lot of artists who watch this, I know you can relate to that. That's a lot of people struggle, it's just starting the process. And yeah, now that I've got the basic in place, I might look to just put extra shapes. So here I might add something a bit unique and have like a square. Now it's just squared off at the bottom. And I'm actually going to have this overlaying this back stem. Like so. And once you get happy with the shapes you put in for your foundation, you then want to grab yourself your black marker again, and just the same as this, go over the whole thing, darken the bits you want to keep, and just forget about the lines you're going to later off, rub off. And as you can start to see how you can go from a shape that looks a lot more bolder and a lot more stiffer to something that has a lot more of a loose flow to it, just by changing the shapes up and change up in your mind how you want to lay the foundations in place before approaching the wall or the piece of paper. And it's that simple, guys, if you start breaking it down. And foundational shape, we'll start off with shape 1 again, so the same pattern is happening. And this time let's change it, because this is happening thick to thin. You can even just for example, this time we'll just reverse it. So here we want to go thick at top and thin at the bottom. And where it came in from this way, here we're going to chuck it out this side, bring it in, and connect it to the points again. And we're going to look to do the same here, so it's going to come down like so, and then it's going to follow this line and get smaller as it comes to the bottom. And don't try and be too precise, literally, let's just say let go. And if you struggle with this, letting go, what I would advise to do is to actually ruin it before you've done anything. That way you let go of all the precious elements of you trying to be too precious with where you're going with the letter. So now you've ruined your page, now you've got less attachment to try and make it perfect. Like owning a car, if you bought yourself a new Lamborghini, you're going to be so precious of where you park it because of if anyone hits it. Say if you just drive an old banger, the beauty of that is you just take wherever you want to go and you don't care as much. By not caring as much, you just have a much emptier mind. So here, it's in place. Shape number 2, this shape. Here I want to do something different, so I want to just branch it out. And I'm going to have it almost sitting on the branch. So it's coming inwards and make it smaller. Like a little rectangle there, and have a little knot coming off the top. And just throw some extra shapes in. And even with the scribble line, this is what I said before, with this one is the mistakes. That is actually quite a cool shape, which I wouldn't have put in myself. So I'm actually going to take this and use it. And then bring the shape down. Just like so. And I really hope just by repeating the process you start to see what's happening from the just messing it up and then the accidental lines and how I'm using them to create a whole new letter. Because your conscious mind will literally replicate the same thing what you know and stay comfortable. Your subconscious mind will allow you to explore a lot more. And there we have it, that's a crazy looking K. You can even almost bend that down and have a H if you really want to. But I really sort of like the wildness of it. It's really unique. And that's the stuff you want as an artist. You don't want to be a copy of someone else, you want to have your own unique style. And that's why when I'm showing you these letters, yes, I'm showing you, but I'm not telling you exactly you want to put this next to B, B to C. I think you guys are way more advanced than that. I hope you understand how I'm trying to teach you the letters. I'm just going to put a few extras on now once the foundations are in place, like so. And I feel like there has to be a real loose line just kicking off somewhere. So to do this, I'm actually probably going to follow this line round and have this little rectangle coming at the bottom. And now I've just took it to like a much more of a wild style letter, just by throwing a few add-ons to make it more complex. In fact, it's pretty wild actually. It may be a bit unreadable to a few of you, but if you like the wild style, this is a great technique you can use in your future pieces. You know the process by now. My little friend here, a black marker, line in the K, and then I'm just going to rub out everything else that I don't want. And there we have it, guys and girls, the third letter K of today. Yeah, looking good, looking sharp. I really like the way how this sort of changed up. You've got this one sort of leaning back. This is way more animated. Almost just like someone's throwing like a Thai boxing knee off that way. And now I'll stop yabbering on. Fourth letter K. Get to the good stuff. Fourth letter K. Let's see what happens when we do this time. Let's just stick it up, straight up. So now shape number 1. I'm just going to do almost coming up like it's standing strong. And like I said with the loose lines here, I'm pulling down from here, so creating this sort of shape like a vase. And now instinctively looking at this, looks like there should be something thrown back here, so I'm just going to put a block in the back, like so. And I'm also going to mirror that from the bottom, but pull it up a tiny bit. So I've created this shape. Just like that. It's almost like a J, if you will. For the middle bit, I'm actually want to thicken it up a little bit. A lot of this is a lot more looser and like more flowy. So I'm just going to draw a stem to begin with. And this time I want to have a shape come in. These are all quite similar up here, I've just realised. So this one, I'm going to do it so it comes into the first line, in the line shape, and have a rectangle and bringing it in. And now for the bottom, I'm just going to curve it around, try and meet this point, and I'm just going to have it drop down just before it hits the first shape we put in here, shape number 1. Just do a fatter shape. Like I said with all my tutorials, I like to do a different variation of letters, just hopefully because it gives you a good indication of the style you want to hone in on and what you want to get better at. You might like your letters real fat and chunky, you know what I'm saying? That's how I like my girls, how I like my letters. And yeah, K for you here. Am I liking this 100%? It's okay, it's just a different style. But yeah, it's just a different style. Maybe I'll put some drips on it, because with the thicker letters, it kind of looks cool when you just got a drip effect. Like an ice cream letter now. Boom. Throw that in. Go your marker once again, over the whole lot. And move on to the fifth graffiti layer K. And that's it for the fourth graffiti letter K. Something just different from the rest. Like, everyone's got a different taste and different preferences. And it's kind of cool, really, when you figure that out. And that if you had like K, had like an O or E here, or an I even, like had the name of the king, that looks sick on a train, on a wall. Don't paint trains, I'm not saying do that, I'm just saying it look good. So don't get me in trouble. Now we're gonna do the fifth graffiti letter K for today. And for this one, I think we're just gonna start off with really expanding some absolutely crazy shapes. And let's do that by just doing this. Here, loose line, like so. This will be the skeleton. And now what I'm looking to do is, let's turn this into like a tick. So here I'm just being rapid with my movements even. I'm gonna put a small little rectangle up here, and now I'm gonna expand the shape from this. So learning the techniques from earlier where we start off real thin to thick, like up here, take the same lesson to this skeleton until I get to this point. Now from this point I'm actually going to have it so it's like, it's to a thin line and bring it down. The thicker you bring it to, the more dramatic it looks. So if it starts off real thin, it comes out getting real thick. It looks like it's actually got a lot more movement to it. So let's throw in shape 1. Just like this, shape 1. Shape 2 is going to come in. I'm actually going to have it coming in away from a different direction than we usually do, and have it coming down then up. So here it's coming down and it's got this aggressive sort of small rectangle just like this. It could even be a P, like you know a lot of letters, they could actually be other letters if you want to leave it that way. And for this I'm going to sort of have it so, let me play with this, bring down like that, real thin till it comes to this thick shape. And I'm just going to have a rectangle for now, just put it in place. And once the rectangle's in, I'm going to mould around it. So here I want to have like a thin line that connects in and shoots off. So just add that in place. And square it off, maybe it connects. Here I'm playing with shapes as I go. I've taken the lessons from the previous letters we've done. And yeah, building up. So let me see what my thought processes would be. Say it's in place and I think, okay, that's cool. I'll just look for little areas I can add some things on. So I might add like a little notch off there. I might make this a bit bigger now. Like that. Have this come back, have it like a sort of like wing-like shape. Comes in. Little extra square off the side of here. Like that, and good to go. That's it, guys and girls. That's the fifth graffiti letter K for you guys. And just look at the difference in the evolution of letters. It just loosens up, it goes a bit wild over this side, back to simple for you other guys, and this is just real dynamic. Really wild, but real cool. Really cool if you had a really dynamic feel, maybe like have that pink with the white lines. That would look absolutely mental with this style of K. For the final one, as you guys know on this channel, on the letter series, my mind's gonna do this. I'm gonna look at all the letters I've previously done, take what has been the best and worked, and then combine all the elements together to create the final letter K. Because I really wanna concentrate and do something really cool, I'm just gonna let the camera time lapse over. That way I can just focus on that without trying to explain the process to create something really cool. But yeah, I wanna know before I start is that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking the bits I like and drawing it up. And there we have it, everybody. That is 6 ways how you at home can draw the graffiti letter K. I really hope you got a great understanding from today's lesson and the rest of the letters that are coming through this month. I really do enjoy bringing this content to you, and I just like being able to share the things that I've learned through the years. Massive thank you to everybody who's been viewing lately. The views are crazy. And a massive thank you to the Patreon team. You guys are the ones making this content being able to be created for all the other people out there in the world. And need to welcome the new patrons as always, and that's Matthew Payne and W44N Dolo. So welcome guys, I hope you enjoy the free exclusive content each week. And as always guys, I hope you're doing well and keep creating. One love, peace.